We should be live.
Thank you. Is there a way of seeing if Alex is?
He's not in yet.
Okay. We'll give him a second.
No, he's not there yet.
Yeah, I think we'll start and then when he comes in, he can come in.
I'll note it.
All right. I'd like to call the meeting to order. All those present could rise and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome those that are here with us today. This is great to have people here. So thank you for coming. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Nancy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson.
Yes.
I don't know if Commissioner Wilsey is here yet. There he is. Will be rejoining as a panelist. That little box says. His camera is off, so we can't see him, but he is in the meeting.
See, if we get it.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Did you hear the motion?
We have a motion on the floor to approve the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Chairman Armita?
Yes. And now we're going to do some volunteer recognition. We'll start with Chief Booth.
All right. Joining me in that general area. All right, so, sorry, want to go like logistical. Okay, so it is my honor and pleasure to recognize both Chelsea Smith and Scott Hagedorn for your years of dedicated service to the citizens of Gig Harbor in the position of volunteer medical respondent. So I want to give you each a certificate suitable for framing. And thank you again for your service to the community. Thank you very much. All right, and now we're going to do a photo op.
Photo op. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, good evening. I'm here to recognize volunteer firefighter Steve Nixon. So, as you know, Steve had a prior life history of serving this department for over 30 years, right? Yep. It started out as a volunteer and then moved up through the ranks as a career firefighter all the way to assistant chief. And then he finished out his career with us for, I think, 2+ years as a volunteer firefighter, mostly helping out in the wildland arena. Not only helping out here locally, but also deploying regionally and across the states. And one of the things that was very important, I think, in his last role here was the mentorship that he showed in that role. So very thankful for the 2 years that you served, providing that role. So congratulations and thank you for your service to our community. So to appreciation. Thank you. There you go. So we want a picture.
Photo opportunity. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. You're more than welcome to join us for the remainder of the meeting. However, we would not be offended if you chose to leave.
Commissioner, if you don't mind, as you leave, I just want to say thank you too. Thank you for your service to this community. And I know we're going through a transition that hurts and it's a loss. And you know, we were 100% volunteer fire department. We were a combination department, and we've changed and taken that next step. And it's not because we're not grateful. It's not because we don't want volunteers. It's not because of anything you've done. You've done an exceptional job, but it's just the next transition for Gig Harbor Fire. And thank you for being part of our community and part of our department and part of that transition. So we just really appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead myself. Thank you, Chief.
I'd like to appreciate your presentation in February on why that really made a lot of sense instead of just like, hey, we're getting you here guys. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for that. And thanks for your understanding. As Commissioner said, hey, we'd love for you to stay.
You probably gotta want something.
Yeah, thank
Yeah, I'd like to chime in. When I came here in 1984, in February of '84, we had Station 5-1. I think there was 5 firefighters. 2 or 3, Drew and those guys up in the front office, 5 firefighters, and probably 100 volunteers. And we only had like 5 police officers. And Station 5-1 was like a substation for us, hanging out there with everybody. But my first contact, I've said this before, my first contact with Pierce County Fire District 5 was them bringing me out of a pond on Rosedale and Lombard. And just about every one of those firefighters that were bringing me out of that pond on a gurney were volunteers. And they all came up through the ranks. John Burgess, I don't know if you were there, Steve. I think almost every one of them was pretty much a volunteer. And it was to see them moving up through the ranks over the years. But you know, Bert Beneville and just some of those other volunteers that we had at that time. It's been, when I saw the president of what was going to happen, it didn't surprise me. I mean, we've seen volunteerism overall in all areas, whether it's a service organization or whatever, that the volunteerism in our country today has really kind of dropped in all areas, because of lifestyles, because of everything's going on in the families and stuff. So it's been a rich heritage and culture for our fire district. And as everybody has said, I truly appreciate all the areas that the volunteers have filled in on, whether it's paramedics or it's education. I'm going to miss, of course, I haven't seen the green lights on the vehicles for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be missed and honored. So you guys have been an intricate part of this fire district for all of those years. And so again, a heartfelt thank you for what you guys have done here. To just give me another legacy, which will go down in the archives of Fire District 5 and the people that have served it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well said.
Yeah. One thing, you, just to echo what Kevin said, but also I want to single out Chelsea because you haven't seen the impact that people that volunteer for this district can have until you've gone out on a Santa run with Chelsea. So Chelsea knows everybody, when you drive around with her, every cul-de-sac, she knows someone runs up to her, how are you doing? And that's the kind of positive impact that I think everybody that's been a volunteer for this program is having. So thank you.
It was an eventful evening. We're not gone yet. We're not. We're still here.
I want to cut it off. Thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
All right, next item on the agenda, any upcoming commissioner absences? Any communications?
No communications.
Look for an approval of the minutes of our June 13th meeting. So move.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiltie,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina.
Yes. That brings us to vouchers.
I'll move that we approve accounts payable vouchers 199559 through 199630, payroll vouchers 199543 through 199558, and ECH payroll transfer and wire transfer fees as outlined in the agenda for a grand total of $2,851,568.65.
Second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiltie,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina.
Yes. Is there a report from the local?
No, President Flick contacted me and said he didn't have anything today.
That brings us to Chief's report. Chief.
All right, we'll start with Chief Booth.
All right, I just have one brief update for the group. I did submit the safety improvement plans and the grant application consistent with for the LMI fire program. The next thing to hear back, I believe it is late August. We should hear back on whether or not the grant was approved, whether they decided to give us the money for us. So that's where we're at with that program. And unless you have any other questions, I'll go ahead and let Chief move on to the next. Thank you.
All right, Chief Black.
Wonderful. Just one thing for me tonight, on Sunday, we had a large fire kind of event. You guys might have seen it on social media or you've been impacted by it. I was chief on call for that event myself, and Chief Oldenburg were able to respond there. So just a quick update, came in as a large brush fire along Highway 16. Right up against that, it was threatening Peninsula Lutheran Church, and the fire had gotten very close within feet of the church. And then a couple of residential homes, small homes, rentals along that strip as well. So our crews did a great job. It went to a second alarm fire, and we had Tacoma, West Pierce, Keepan, and South Kitsap came in and helped us support that with a number of apparatus and personnel. And we were able to make a great stop and hold it without affecting any of the structures. We were able to, with the help of our law enforcement partners, evacuate homes and dogs and make sure that that event ended well. So we were on scene for quite some time, but it was a good ending to the event. And I think it was seen by lots of people. So we've gotten good feedback from that. End of report.
All right, Chief Meyer.
Yeah, good evening. I just want to give you a couple updates. We are going through our driver operator position assignment. We finalized that process a week and a half ago, and we're going to be coming out with an eligibility list probably by the end of the week. So that's just something that we're going to be looking forward to for driver operator positions, assignments for engines coming in the new year. So we're just finalizing that process and that selection. Also too, last day for Lieutenant Jaron Spoya. He is a lieutenant that is at Station 56 on D shift. It's his last day today. So Jaron's been with us for over 20 years in our organization. And we are having a last tone out ceremony tomorrow at Station 56 at 0800. So if anybody wants to be there for that, last tone out ceremony for Jaron Spoya. We want to thank him for his service to this organization and wish him well in retirement. The training division has been hosting some regional classes for firefighters here over the last couple of months. It's been received well, so a lot of outside agencies and firefighters coming in and participating in training in this building. So it's been very well received. So we've been supporting that. And then also tomorrow we are hosting a regional DNR fire division meeting downstairs. So we're just cooperating with our partners in the region. And then lastly, just to update, we are going to be doing some up staffing for the 3rd and the 4th of July. So we're going to be putting on extra staffing, an extra battalion chief, staffing of 53, and an extra water tender for the burn period, which is basically noon to midnight. Just to put on extra staffing, and usually on the 4th, 3rd, and 4th of July, we're busy. And then also too, if we have something that extends, we can extend that staffing through the night, which we have had in the past. But that's just some updates from operations, unless there's any questions.
Go along with the 4th, it'll be our first year in the city limits of no fireworks whatsoever. So we'll see how that goes. And the police chief has assured me that they're going to respond on all the calls that they get, or as many as they can. But it's their responsibility, and we don't enforce, so we won't be doing that. We'll only go when they catch something on fire. So, but we'll see how that experiment goes in the city limits and see if it makes a difference. And we supported them in their efforts. Today I had a meeting with the CERT team, Chief Booth and I did, outlining CERT, what it is, what the expectations are, and moving forward. It was a really good meeting. We had our second levy information meeting. At this one, I don't want to say nobody came because our commissioner chair came and he's, but that was all. So, on one hand, I take it as good, in fact, on many hands, but, we didn't door knock, we didn't, do any mailers to come. It was in Gig Harbor Now, and it was on social media, so, I believe we did the best we could to get the word out. And I'm taking that our voters are content, that they're not frustrated. So, we're done with our levy information meetings. And I'll take that as good news that we didn't have anybody come. As I had reported before, I'm on the Penn Met Parks Senior Center Steering Committee, and we had that meeting last night, and we ended our work. The other one I was on for the Aquatic Center was tonight, so I couldn't attend the last meeting of that, but that will sunset my work on being on those steering committees with Penn Met.
Have those commissioners, okay?
The commissioner's been very difficult to work with, especially
Hands
Dawn.
Hands off.
Oh, well,
Yes, thank you for serving.
yeah, thank you. I learned a lot, I really did, and I got some new connections and learned a lot about Penn Met Parks, which I really enjoyed, and what they do. And I met with Ally last week and spent some time with her, so it's been really nice working with Penn Met. Tomorrow is a meeting with Chief Johnson and I, Rice Fergus Miller, to start kicking off the Station 51 project. As we get 57 and 53 to the county, and we got the training to the county, now it's time to get the ball rolling on 51. And they'll all be in different stages as we move through that. So Chief Johnson and I will be meeting with Rice Fergus Miller to get that going. Thursday, I'll be doing another ride along at Station 51. I did one last Thursday and enjoyed my time doing that. Last but not least, just a change that we as a command staff and I have made this week. That we are pulling IT back in-house and leaving the consortium. We have the job description for an information system manager out. I've also made a decision to move IT from logistics to administration. So I'll now report to Chief Oldenburg and be within that division. So Chief Black is going to obviously still be a part of that transition and helping us find the right person. But within the org chart, IT will be moved under administration. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
Next item is standing committee reports. Any reports? Did I miss something?
It's time for your report.
It wasn't anything you said.
Oh, they're gone. All right, standing committee reports. Did I miss something? No. Oh, okay. The finance committees, well, I guess I had an interview with the state auditor that's coming. And we're gonna have an entry meeting next Thursday. Is that firm yet? We're holding that day. And then the fleet and facilities committee also met. Tom, did you want to talk about that at all? Anything to report back?
I think maybe at a later date.
Yeah.
Would be best.
Yeah. So we're working through some things as far as the fleet. Great meeting. There's really a lot of good information presented that will come forward in the future.
Yeah, Commissioner will be we met with the different committees about fleet and about finance, and we're gonna bring that entire presentation to the entire board here. Soon I'll work with you on getting that on the schedule.
All right. Nothing. It's finance report time.
Okay, in regards to the audit information, so we are moving forward with the entrance conference. That is normal and typical with the schedule. It is, the entire commission is invited to the entrance conference. However, if a quorum exists, we will move it to an open public meeting. So looking for feedback if you'd like to pursue our entrance conference through a particular subcommittee, or if we'd like to move the entrance conference of the auditor to an open public meeting at a future date.
So I made the recommendation that the committee would attend. Do you have interest in attending?
No. Thank you.
Okay,
Not on the committee, it was, yeah.
great.
Okay. So we'll move forward with including the finance and audit committee for the entrance conference. I would say it's more formality. It goes over the responsibilities and expectations of both parties through the course of the audit. This audit, we are on the same timeline as we were last year. Probably will have expected our audit to be completed by August. Yay. Moving into one other thing before the finance report. We did meet with the finance and facilities committee last 2 weeks ago. We are moving forward with our SCBA purchases through this year and participating in the local program. With that schedule, we are submitting our notice of intent to participate in the borrowing program at the state and did submit that application today. So that's the first part. There will be more in the July and August period for more formal resolutions for adoption. Let me share my screen.
I have a quick question for the audit. Do you know who the auditor, excuse me, will be?
Yes, we have been assigned an auditor.
Sorry,
We have been assigned an auditor for this year.
how can I put this politically correct? Not an older gentleman.
No.
Okay. That's pretty good. Bob.
Yeah, yeah.
In 24 of today's packet is the May 2023 finance report. Hey, look, nice. Okay, moving into the May 2023 finance report. Revenues is pretty expected. We received our April property tax collection. Intergovernmental and charges for services is looking a little high. This is expected just based on when we get those reimbursements. On the operating expenses, I don't have a lot to say in terms of salary, benefits, and supplies for services. Into the capital fund. For the capital fund, we did see a little more uptick in expenditures in May. Most of those were invoices for our contractor Rice Fergus Miller, both for the training campus and 53 and 57. The one highlight I'll note before the percentages, station 53, we did budget an annual amount for 2023. 53 in terms of our design is actually moving forward ahead of schedule. So we do have some of our 2024 expenditures that we're starting to pay in 2023. So that's where you'll notice that percentage uptick in 53. On the ending cash, this is as we would expect in May, since we've received property tax in April. We'll continue to use that cash as we move forward and get our next revenue collection in October. Does anyone have any questions about the May finance report? That is my update with the finance.
Thank you, Crystal. Nothing for the chairman's report. That gets us to the bond update.
Bond update, actually Dawn took most of my thunder earlier, so I'll hit the highlights of it. And I'll go kind of project by project. Training campus, as I've reported, we have submitted to Pierce County for permitting. Working on a few minor changes to some things, nothing major. We have our meeting scheduled tomorrow. Sorry, different meeting. We have scheduled a review for the training campus with the training division. So Rice Fergus Miller, all the architects and all of our engineers sit down with the training division, and we will go literally page by page of all 200 plus pages of documents to make sure we got everything and we don't have anything that we missed. I should have all the paperwork done for the water service extension agreement for the training campus 58, hopefully by the end of the week or so. Moving to 53 and 57, as Crystal reported in the finance report, we're ahead because I keep pushing. I'm trying to spend money. So those are to the county for permitting.
Along with that, we have received notice that the county has approved. So with that project, we are actually under the 2011 building permit with a minor, it's called a minor amendment. All of that has been approved now, so it's in the process of being pushed forward for approval through the county at this point. Station 51, the design committee announcement closed last Friday. I'll be working tomorrow morning on that. And then, as Chief Dunn said, we have our kickoff meeting with Rice Fergus tomorrow, just to kind of go over what we have already in place and set the schedule moving forward. So, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. I guess the new business resolution 2023-08. Crystal.
Resolution 2023-08 is more of a formality. In the state, we are required to do a resolution for any canceled warrants through our Pierce County Treasurer account. The following that are included here are vendors that either was lost in the mail or did not receive. This action is for the cancellation of said warrants, and then also in this section shows the applicable voucher and warrants for the reissue for each vendor.
So question, so somewhere out there, we lost $144,000, $144,124 check for voucher.
It was lost. Where in that process it was lost, whether it was through USPS or the specific vendor, yeah. So when we've been notified that that has happened, we issue a stop payment with Pierce County, and then reissue. So the actual lost check has been stopped and the stop payment has been issued.
Is there consideration for the trust? I mean, that's related to the insurance trust. Is there consideration for going with electronic transfers rather than actual checks?
I think it would be beneficial to evaluate electronic transfers for vendors. Yeah.
Okay.
I would support that.
So I'll move that we approve resolution 2023-1.
Second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Entzie,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiltie,
yes,
Chairman Urbina.
Yes. Thank you. That brings us to open public comment. State your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes. Is there anybody online?
51 and Tom White.
Okay, seeing none, that brings us to go to the order. Anything for go to the order? Seeing none, any special interest upcoming events to be made aware of? Okay, I'll move that we adjourn the meeting. Our next regular meeting will be held on July 11th at 5 o'clock. Thank you.
Yeah, you.